Well, one thing, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of background on Eddie Salter here a little bit. It started for me as a young boy, actually even walking to the school, trying to catch a school bus early in the morning. A lot of times I get asked, how'd you get into turkey hunting? And it was a big cow pasture right across from where I caught the school bus at. Had to walk a couple hundred yards. We lived down a little gravel road. But I would sit there and early in the morning hearing a wow, off in the distance, and all at once, especially starting around the middle of February on into March, I'd hear an old turkey gobble. And while I was waiting on the school bus, and I thought that was real neat. And then on Saturday mornings, we had a big pasture right behind the house there, and it was my job every day. And to come home, I had to feed the cows, and we had chickens and hogs, just old country boy farm. And but on Saturday mornings out there, if you got out there early enough, and I remember peeping through a crack many a times, and I'd hear old turkeys gobbling. This is right when you first hear the first little cardinal peep, or actually owls would hoot. I mean, the spring of the year, to me, it's the best time of the year. You got the dogwoods blooming, everything's coming to life, and and turkeys is right there in the middle of all of it. But I'd hear these old turkeys, them old hens, they would start, and they would be flying down, look like bombers hitting the field out there. All at once, behind the old hens, that old gobbler would gobble, and then he seemed to be the last one to hit the ground. And boy, as soon as he hit the ground, he would tuck his old wings out. He'd tuck his head back, and if you were close enough, you'd hear him drum. And that's a ritual that turkeys use to get that hen. The old gobbler uses to get that hen to come in a little closer. But me as a young boy, hey guys, I've been here forever, seems like, but there wasn't no videos, there wasn't no TV. You could not get no information on a turkey if you wanted to start turkey hunting. And I really did, and my daddy, he didn't know no more than I did. My mother knew a lot more than my daddy did, because her daddy turkey hunted. And she remembered her daddy telling her that the thing that helped him the most was turkeys herself. They had turkeys, they had tame turkeys, and so she went and bought me some turkeys, and I followed these turkeys around forever, and learning, different calls, listening to them and watching their reactions, and learning to call, from the turkeys. I started mimicking the turkeys, and it was one of the best educations I ever had, was turkeys herself. And then, I think down the road, the good Lord kind of looking at my life, and I think he had me planned to kind of start off as a barber, and he said that'll be a education. Let him go to barber school and learn how to cut hair, and that'll be an education that'll last him a lifetime. And it did. And I tell you what, I wouldn't have changed it for nothing. But when I got out of high school, I went to barber school and learned how to cut hair. And real quick, I got a job at a local shop in my hometown. And the guy, luckily enough, he decided he wanted to go do something else. He left out, and I was able to own my own shop after about 6 months of working with him. And, I was there, but my love was turkey hunting. And I was there cutting hair, and, I said, well, the good Lord gives you a few things in life that, sometimes you miss out and don't take up opportunities. And I said, I believe I'm gonna take a chance on this opportunity. And I got, at that time, I'd got to figuring out some of the big landowners there, some of the farmers, and I was cutting their hair and all this. And I said, well, this is an opportunity. So when these landowners and these old farmers would come in to get a haircut, I'd ask them, how you want your hair cut? And they'd say, well, cut it like you did last time. I'd start cutting their hair. And then about middle ways of that haircut, I would ask them, hey, have you been seeing any turkeys out there on your farm or on your place? And if they said yes, boy, I bet you could see a smile on my face. I said, yeah, I got me one right here. And I would get through cutting his hair and turn him around there. And back then, we would use an old straight razor. It looked almost like his striker here. It was about 6 or 7 inches long. And, we had an old leather strap that we could take that strap and we could get that razor real sharp. And that's what I do is I would take that old straight razor and hit that leather strap and get it real good and sharp. But then I would we had a little old box in there, not much bigger than this box call here, that we actually had, we would put soapy water in there, and it would make kind of like a hot foam. We called it hot leather, that would foam up, and I'd put it around the ears and neck and start shaving around the ear, and come on around the neck and grab that left ear. And I'd put that razor on that left ear. So a while ago, we were talking about, did you have any turkeys on your place? And you said yes. And I said, well, I would love to come out there and try to go hunting this spring. Do you think it's any way possible that I can hunt your property? And I never did get turned down. I had bunches of places to go hunting. And I know for a fact that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, was having a lot of place to go hunting. Because you could have all of these places. Like you can have all of these calls right here and be a world champion. But if you ain't got turkeys in your area that you're going to hunt, ain't none of them going to do you no good. But anyhow, I got into the hunting, and, I was reading articles and different things. There was a few started coming out, and I was cutting hair, and I went into turkey call business. I built turkey calls in my spare time and had them in my shop and sold turkey calls to my customers there. And I was into that, and I think it was probably in '86, I got to reading a little bit about a new camo company had started over there in Columbus, Georgia. And Bill Jordan had started a camo company. Back then, we didn't have no camo. Only camo you had was you go to the National Guard and try to talk them boys out of some of them old Army camo. And I was excited about it. And I had met Bill at some of these shows or talking to him. I think he went to a writers convention, and I met him, and I looked at the pattern, and boy, I was excited about coming over here and sitting down and talking to him. And I don't know for a fact, but I feel like I think me and Joe Drake was probably one of the first two pro staff that Realtree ever decided to, start letting wear the camo. So, boy, I was excited. I was like a kid in a Christmas store with that new camo that I had. And, because I knew for a fact that it would help you be a more successful turkey hunter. And I got to knowing Bill, and this was really in '86, and I got to knowing him a lot more and spending time with him at shows. And, we'd go out and eat and talk about turkey hunting, and I got to come over here and go with him, and we all planned like rider hunts. We both figured, well, if we could take and get some of these outdoor riders, wearing Realtree camo and then using my turkey calls back then, that it'd be a win-win. And that's how we got started our relationship. And boy, it's been a big relationship and been a great one since '86. And I tell you what, I know for a fact it's helped me a lot. And hopefully I've helped them a lot, because I've talked about, can't beat hiding in the woods. That's you. And that turkey, he is in his living room, and he knows where every little old knot hole, every stump hole, everything's at. And I've said many a times, if you had a hole, you dug a hole and was in that hole calling like a turkey, he'd come in and stick his head in that hole. And if you ain't blended in, guys, you're gonna miss out on killing a lot of turkeys. So anyhow, in a nutshell, and I know I probably gonna talk too much, but anyhow, that kind of gives you a little bit about. To me, I felt like I've been part of their family, and to me, family is what this is all about, guys. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't take nothing, from mine. I have opportunity to hunt. I got 2 grandsons, and family is what it's all about.